Привет! Welcome to today's video. It is time for another edition of me attempting to translate patterns in languages I do not understand. And this time I'm going to tackle Russian. Now, Russian is different than the other languages I've attempted so far, in that with the other four languages that I've attempted so far, French, Spanish, German, and Italian, they all share the majority of the same letters with English. So even if I didn't quite understand the language itself or the individual words, there were enough context clues in how the languages were constructed that I was able to guess at the meaning of words and also guess at how they were pronounced. Russian doesn't follow any of that. Russian follows the Cyrillic system. I don't know if it's considered an alphabet or not. I would say that it is, but it's literally, the letters do not correspond to any sounds whatsoever in my mind, so I have no idea how any of it's pronounced. In fact, the way I had to go about getting the books for the patterns has been different than the previous languages, because the previous languages I knew enough of with the way that the alphabets were, I knew enough to be able to order it online for myself. But I wasn't even sure how to begin typing for Russian. So I am incredibly grateful to the Philadelphia library system for arranging books by language. Like, you can, when you search for books in their catalog, you can actually choose language as a filter by which you can get the books, which was how I was able to get a Russian knit and crochet book. So, unlike the other books, I don't actually own these books. I'm going to have to return them in 3 weeks, which means I'm probably going to have to photocopy the stuff that I need, which means I'm not necessarily going to have all the things I need right off the bat. Yeah. As for all my previous experience with Russian, there is none. I have never attempted to decode Russian before. In fact, that word that you heard me say at the beginning, privet, which stands for hello, I learned from Google Translate literally minutes before filming this video. And it's the only attempt I use for Google Translate this entire time. As per the regular rules, I have to choose a project from each book to make, and I'm not allowed to use anything but the book itself, so no Google Translate, to interpret anything. Unless I come across someone who speaks Russian, and I can ask them for help. I'm not sure who that would be at this moment in my life. Now it is time to address the elephant in the room, in that I am a U.S. citizen, and the United States and Russia have been frenemies at best longer than I've been alive, and outright enemies at worst. Like, at the time that I am filming this video, the United States is actively giving supplies and aid to Ukraine in the Ukraine-Russian war that is currently going on. So I just want to make it clear that I don't support Vladimir Putin in the slightest, but Vladimir Putin is not the sole proprietor of the Russian language. So the fact that I'm attempting this with Russian is not an anti-patriotic thing on my part. It's the fact that we live in a big, wonderful world, and a huge part of that world ends up speaking Russian. Now, on a warmer, fuzzier note, the fact that I'm going to be attempting this in Russian almost creates a full circle moment for me, in that the person who taught me how to knit, the teacher who taught me how to knit, actually was an immigrant from the Soviet Union. So I don't know if, what part of the Soviet Union she was from, because the last time I saw that teacher, I was 12. So that was over half a lifetime ago for me. But in a way, like that, the teacher who taught me how to knit made a very huge deal about exploring our like collective heritages in the class, because like the school that I went to was a very diverse school and had many immigrants in the class. And she made it an important part of her lessons to explore our own heritages and then also explore the heritages of the people around us, because the world's a big, wonderful place. And in a way, attempting this like pattern in Russian kind of feels like a way of acknowledging her heritage. So I'm quite excited for that, actually. So yeah, I'm going to be setting this up like as I do with the rest of the languages. I'm going to have a separate knitting section, I'll have a separate crochet section, and I'll choose a pattern from both. So we're going to start it all over again. That was today's entertainment. Have a nice day.